UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen and Figueiredo takes place in Des Moines, Iowa. Jim, I got to tell you, I'm loving these kind of off the beaten path
Yeah.
cities that they're going to. It doesn't all need to be Vegas and Miami because you go to Kansas City and Des Moines, guess who's showing up? Everybody. And they're there for the first fight. That's what I love about some of these fights in some of these other cities where you go to some of these fights and the first fight starts and it's like, are the doors open? Like, is this like a VIP only fight? No, not some of these cities. I guarantee the crowd's going to be there in full force to watch this first fight. So, welcome everybody to Winning in the Shadows. Andy and Jim are going to break down all the fights. We're going to show you our woulda, coulda, shoulda, and our parlay buster at the end. We're going to talk about our PFL pack that is up, and we got a 5% UFC and live golf parlay. We'll talk about all that. But first, I need you guys to hit the like button, please. You know, it helps us out a ton. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us who you like. Love the conversation in the last few weeks. You guys have been doing great. Some really good picks. So appreciate all that. Leave a comment. We love the engagement. Keep it respectable. You guys have been doing a freaking great job of doing that. So let's get into it here, Jim. Let's jump into Sandhagen and Figueiredo. Very first fight of the night is Juliana Miller and Ivana Petrovic. I will let you go first. What's your read on this fight?
I'm going to keep mine short.
Juliana Miller stinks.
I knew you were going to do it.
Sorry.
Andy, you take the lead on this fight. Do it.
All right. So,
This
Juliana,
is Andy's baby.
I have watched Juliana Miller on The Ultimate Fighter. I watched every single episode of that series. I watched her fight the entire time, and she kept winning. And I was like, this is the worst competition for women's fights I have ever seen. It was bad.
It was pretty bad, man.
It was terrible. Okay, so then she fights Brogan Walker, who Brogan Walker is about as fraudulent as it gets. She hasn't fought since April of 2023. How you get ground and pounded out by Juliana Miller is beyond me. Lucindo could have beaten her within an inch of her life, but it turns out they were like best friends. And so Lucindo like completely took it easy on her. And what happens? Juliana Miller gets dominated Veronica Hardy. And in one of the worst performances you have ever seen against Luana Santos, I don't even know how to describe what happened. She got tired in the first minute and a half. Her striking was terrible. She had no wrestling. She had no clinch. She got knocked out by Luana Santos on the feet. We haven't seen her since August of 2023. I was like, well, she must have been getting some work done in the gym. She's getting better. We're going to see a brand new version of Juliana Miller. Oh, it turns out she's had not one, not two, but 3 surgeries since there. And not making light of this, she lost her grandmother. Rest in peace. Grandmother was very, very important to her. We've got a lot of emotions going on. She said that when she lost to Luana Santos, she knew that was the last time her grandmother would see her. I'm more concerned about the injuries. There's no way she's had enough time to get any better. Her striking is horrific. She's skinny. There's no way she's going to take down Petrovic. Petrovic is not a great fighter, but she's 7-2. She gave Jamie Lynn Horth everything that she can handle. It went to a split decision. Her striking's not great, but she is so much stronger than Juliana Miller. She's not going to be scared by anything that Juliana Miller does. Petrovic dog walks Juliana Miller. Don't be surprised if we get a finish. The floor is yours.
Love it. I've been waiting for that. If you go to Juliana Miller, look who they wanted to match her up against, which was canceled.
Oh,
they were going to throw her to Carly.
Yeah.
5% bet.
Yeah, Carly would have.
Carly in that
Carly would have just annihilated. That was. Remember the BKFC where the woman was going to come out and fight, and right before she walked out of the curtains, her camp was like, no, this isn't going to happen. You're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened with Juliana.
That was going to be trouble. Yeah, that was going to be.
That was bad.
Look, I feel for her, but we're about making money. This is a business, and we got to take our shots when we can. I agree with you. Petrovic is not the best fighter in the world, but she's got all the skills that she needs to beat Miller and finish Miller. Don't be surprised if she gets the sub. And I think she might even make it early. I mean, we've just seen Miller fall off an absolute cliff. And going back and watching Petrovic's striking as well, she carries way more power than Miller does in the feet. So Like Petrovic in the spot. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to be too over dramatic, but I have been waiting a long time to fade Juliana Miller again. My bankroll has been waiting a long time to fade Juliana Miller again. I know there's going to be comments that was disrespectful. This is a business and this is about money, and I will not apologize for taking advantage of situations that will improve our bankrolls. That's my job to you guys. So I will look for the Juliana Millers of the world to keep fading. Oh, speaking of keep fading, DonTale Mays and Thomas Petersen. I'll let you tackle this one first.
Well, like you said, the fans and I were going to be in there early, and God bless them for sitting through these two fights.
It's a great one.
People might be leaving after the first two to go take a break. DonTale Mays, perennial fade. Still in the UFC somehow. I don't know how he's still here.
By the way, the balls on this guy to show his picture holding two belts. This is just amazing. His profile picture is him holding.
I want to know when that picture's from. That looks like an early 90s Polaroid.
Hard Rock MMA.com.
It's been a while. Look, he's just not good at anything. The thing with DonTale is a strong gust of wind can knock him over. Even himself, he can knock himself over at any point in time in the fight. And once he's on his back, he doesn't know what to do. He still doesn't know what to do. I don't think he has the physicality. He reminds me of somebody who, like, when you see that young kid that they're like 9 years old, and then all of a sudden you see him a year from now, and they're like 8 inches taller. And you're like, oh, you must be an athlete. But they have no idea how to move their new body. That's what he never learned how to move as such a big man that he is. He just has these moments where he just falls over. He's fighting Thomas Petersen. Not the best fighter in the world, but if DonTale throws a kick and falls, Petersen hopefully is smart enough to just lay on top of him and bank the rounds here. I know he just got knocked out by Shamil. That was exactly where we wanted to be. He was on Shamil in that fight. I had to listen to everybody all week. Thomas Petersen, Shamil is a fraud. No. Thomas Petersen has his limitations. I just can't bet on DonTale Mays. So I'm going to pick Petersen for the sheer fact that I think it's a bounce back. He's younger, and I'll pick Mays to make the mistake earlier.
I showed the picture that I thought something weird was going on with Petersen and his mouth in his last fight against Gaziev. It didn't change the handicap, but it certainly helped it. I don't know. I'm not going to say what's on my mind with that one. I will just say something is up with Thomas Petersen. He does not look like the same guy that he did when he was on Contender Series. I think there's something going on. I will ever so slightly lean Thomas Petersen, but please, for the love of God, do not put a penny of your hard-earned money on this fight. Please do not bet this fight. I just don't think there's a sharp edge.
I don't think you can even take a total.
That's what I mean.
Like, it's totally just forget about it.
There's nothing. So we move on. Gaston, Bolanos, Quang Lee, who you got?
I'm going to take Quang Lee in this one. Now, it goes against everything that...
How are you?
Everything that I believe about Bolanos and about these fighters that just don't have the greatest level of competition. But God, Gaston just has these moments where you wonder if he's an MMA fighter. He just purely is this striker. I've seen him get taken down over and over and over again. And he just doesn't do the right things. He doesn't make the right decisions. And nobody's been able to really take super advantage of that. But at some point, it's going to catch up to Gaston. It's going to catch up that he's not on the level of somebody who's an MMA fighter and not just a kickboxer. This fight will not have a bet for me. I'm going to pass on this entirely from a betting perspective. But from a pick, I will pick Quang Lee because I just want to fade Gaston going forward. I think he's hit his ceiling.
See, I'm on the opposite sides of this one. I like Bolanos. I thought he did a good job of neutralizing Ramius. I don't know why I laugh. I have watched the decision be read because the look on Ramius's face is He looked like he had no idea where he was, and I don't mean like concussed. Well, he certainly wasn't concussed from the action, the activity that went on that fight, but he was just like, and you were like, Ramius,
Yeah.
hello, everything all right? Like you're in a UFC fight here. I think Bolanos can take Lee down. I think Lee is rudimentary at best. Getting like, listen, kudos to him. He comes and he fights Chris Gutierrez in his talk about a brutal But of course, can Gutierrez finish him? Of course not, because it's Chris Gutierrez. But then Long Zhao, who's 27-9 at the age of 27, gets him out of there. And this was a guy that lost his UFC debut. I think Gang Lee has striking that's very meh. I don't think his takedown defense is remotely there, and I think that's what actually Bolanos is going to do. I think Bolanos is going to take him down and lay on him because we haven't seen these road to UFC guys show very if they didn't make their way there because of their wrestling and grappling, it's pretty hard for them to show that they can do it. Now, does he have the energy? Maybe. Is Bolanos a stallion? No, of course not. Like you can see him get tired, but I'll lean Bolanos on this one. Probably not going to get to the window on it, but I'll take Bolanos. And again, total can't say anything on this one. I can see a submission, I can see a knockout, or I can see this being a pretty boring 3-round fight. All right, we move on to Marina Rodriguez and Gillian Robertson. I'll let you take this one. You've been a big Gillian Robertson supporter over the last
a while now.
Well, I was just saying, when did the switch flip for you?
For Robertson, oh man, you can keep going down. So the Cachoeira, I mean, that was her debut, and I bought into it at that point. She loses to JJ Aldridge, and it wasn't even the move up.
And you don't mean like UFC debut because she debuted against Miranda Maverick.
Oh, I don't even remember that. It definitely wasn't then. Yeah,
okay.
I didn't bet her against Miranda Maverick. No.
Oh no, she fought Tyler Sand. Oh, she debuted a long time ago.
Yeah, I really wasn't in on.
That's what I mean. It's two different careers for Gillian Robertson.
Yeah, that's a great way of saying it. It's two different careers.
So
she's been in for a while, but when she really started getting headway, was when she really started to commit to her grappling, and I think that was on full display against Cachoeira. At that point, you kind of knew that Gillian understood the assignment going forward. Enough of trying to mess around striking and losing stand-up battles. Like, you know what you're good at. You are the leader in submissions. You need to get the fight to the ground. Just do it. Do it. Big bet on her against Piera Rodriguez. That was probably the biggest one that I had with her. And I just, she had the submissions early. I think that against the right opponent, you can go submission with Gillian. And it's going to take somebody who's been submitted a lot and really has those openings. But I love what she's done with her career, moving down in weight, realizing that she needed to be stronger. She needs to be able to be that bully inside the cage. And this girl is committed to fighting. She loves one of two things: fighting and dyeing her hair. There you go. We'll go with that one. If you're fans of Gillian, you know what else she loves. I love the progression of her career, and I think she's an absolute juggernaut when she can get the fight in her realm, and she's proved that time and time again. Going against Marina, here's the biggest thing that stuck out from Marina. That number of 38 years old should not be taken lightly in the women's divisions. That is the equivalent of what, 41 in the men's, would you say?
It depends. I don't think Marina's an old 38. I don't think she's a washed 38. I mean, 17-5-2 for the record. So it's not like she's been in, a million fights over her career. And let's be honest, she went to split against Lucindo and Andrade. That's not, it's not terrible. Like, look, she has the weirdest. To me, this is one of the weirdest 5-fight stretches. Okay, Lemos in 2022, killer. Jandaroba, title contender. Andrade, perennially up at the top. Lucindo, probably going to be a future. And just randomly in the middle, Michelle Waters. Gomez, where did that come from? Where she absolutely brutalized her. Brutalized her.
Poor Michelle.
This is a hard stretch. She beat Zhao Nan. but it was 2022. This is just a strange 5-fight stretch. This is one of the stranger 5-fight stretches I can remember on someone's like card because one judge changes their mind and goes another way.
Mm.
He's on a 3-fight winning streak and she ain't fighting Gillian Robertson. She's fighting for the title. So I don't know. It's something interesting to look at.
There's a lot of parity on either side of this fight. You're either going to look like a genius or an absolute idiot, no matter what your opinion is going to be on this on both
Yeah.
sides. Where I am interested more so than a side is the under. If Gillian can't get this to the ground, she's in trouble, right? Marina, we've seen her continuously get taken down and on the ground. And when Gillian takes someone down, it's not, I'm going to wrestle you for 3 rounds. She's going to move to mount. She's going to do damage. And I think that's the difference with the Jandiroba loss going to decision is Verna's not really looking to do heavy ground and pound. Gillian is. Gillian's going to be dropping elbows. She's going to be dropping hammer fists.
Arm bars.
Right? She'll be tenderizing you. Verna's more of like a control till you make a mistake. So she was held down by Jandiroba. I don't know if she can survive 3 rounds under Gillian. I don't. The under 2.5 in the fight doesn't go the distance at plus money. I think it's worth a shot in this fight. I'd rather go there than a side.
Yeah, here's my concern with Robertson, because I agree with you. Robertson's on the way up. I'm just having a hard time saying Marina Rodriguez is on the way down when you just lost 2 splits to Lucindo and Andrade. It's a tough statement to make. My worry with Gillian Robertson is one time, in the last few years where she kind of stepped up to a legit fighter. I mean, all these are legit fighters, but Tabitha Ricci's, to me, a little bit better than most of these. And she lost a decision. Now, has she gotten better since then? I think so. But she hasn't finished. She couldn't finish Pinheiro, and she didn't finish Waterson Gomez. That's a little bit of a concern. I'm with you, though, that the under is the way to go. Lucindo took down Rodriguez way too easy. That is the red flag, because I'll be honest, I was ready to fire on Rodriguez at the plus money. And then I went back and watched the Lucindo fight, and Lucindo, got her, and it wasn't even like a sophisticated takedown. It was a grab, and I'm just going to fall on you. Yeah. And it was way too easy, and that's why she lost the split decision. She's going to have good cardio. It's a big, big advantage on the feet for Rodriguez, but I agree with the under, because Rodriguez can absolutely knock out Robertson. Mm-hmm. If Robertson can't get the takedown, Rodriguez is absolutely live for the KO. But you're right. Robertson, I love the way she searches for the finish on the ground. I think the under is the way to go. I can't get to Rodriguez as a dog, even though I'd like to. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of love for Gillian Robertson. That loss to Ricci it just sticks out in my head. What if she has a ceiling?
That's what keeps me up. Is there's so much love for Robertson, but I see the holes. And I'm not willing to put my money on them. That's for sure.
Azamat Bekoev and Ryan Loder. Interested in your take. 7-1 versus 19-3. Bekoev, huge favorite. He should steamroll in this one, right?
I like Ryan Loder. I got news for you. I like Ryan Loder.
Yeah, me too.
This is I wouldn't go as far to say the fraudulent record for Bekoev. It's not the toughest record in the world.
What have we said about some of these fighters that was like, why did it take you 20 fights to get to the UFC when they're throwing 4-2 fighters on Contender Series and giving them contracts? This has been a real thing.
Seven fights ago, he's fighting somebody who's 3-0, 0-0. I mean, they're in these random leagues.
Alania Battle. He fought a guy who was 0-0. Wins by slam.
No, I get it. He's doing his job in these fights, right? But there's some losses sprinkled in there. I think Ryan Loder is extremely underrated. Extremely underrated. You watched all of that season of The Ultimate Fighter. And
one of the worst seasons of Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, you got it through it for our sake. So we got to thank you for that.
I'll watch it so you guys don't have to.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, man.
But when we were breaking down Loder's last fight, it was that's what we were saying. I thought he looked, and I went back and watched, and boy, did he make some improvements. like just that span on The Ultimate Fighter, I would say he was the most improved that I've seen off of that show. Hence why he is where he is right now. I think this wrestling is going to surprise Azamat. This reminds me of prime Chris Weidman style wrestling, blast double, traditional folk style wrestling. At some point, you're going to see these styles come back around. Right now, folk style wrestling is not exactly the hotbed of MMA bases. It's more the Dagestani wrestling, is Sambo. There's all different kinds of wrestling that are coming in. But that folk American wrestling, I think it can make a comeback with the right guys. And I think Loder could be one of them. I know he's a little old for the sport, but this guy's been training for a very, very long time. It's like the Bo Nickal light right now, his schedule. He's been in the wrestling rooms for years. I like Loder in this spot. I think he surprises everybody. I like it.
So I'll go down the fighting styles so you know what to expect. Yeah, Bekoev's, he knocks out Chauncey Foxworth, and I'm telling you, he did not look good doing it. This is one of those where if you just look at it, you go, oh wow, right hook, 432, oh, man, powerhouse. No, Chauncey Foxworth gassed.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he got the knockout. Then he's beating guys by decision, split, decision.
The Dylan Budka.
The Dylan Budka that he couldn't finish. Dylan Budka. How much money have we made betting against Dylan Budka clients? He's been an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ryan Loder, when I watched him on Ultimate Fighter, what I loved about him is he was unapologetically a wrestler. He Grant Dawsoned it.
Yes.
I'm serious, man.
You're right. You're 100% right.
We just did a breakdown video of PFL where Carl Williams is fighting in PFL. Carl Williams is a wrestler. He won 3 fights in a row. Somebody told him, hey, you got to be more exciting. So he tried to strike and he lost. And Grant Dawson is like, no, this is my fighting style. I'm going to win. And they're not cutting me if I just keep ripping off wins. And that's what Ryan Loder does. Ryan Loder is an unapologetic wrestler. And the success is there. I know he's only 7-1, but Robert Valentin was a killer on The Ultimate Fighter. He was so good, he won a couple fights and they made him a coach. Like he was a fighter coach. And he gets to fight night and Loder just immediately takes him down. Like, fighter, you ready? Fighter, you're ready. Fight down. And he gets the finish. Like Loder by finish must have been insane.
Yeah.
On that one. Loder's going to waste no time going after the wrestling. And I think Bekoev is in for it. A Loder at this price is insanity. Loder is not going to stop with the wrestling. And Bekoev, even though you watched him, get down Zach Reese and get some ground and pound, he ain't doing that against Loder. He's just not. So I have Loder. I think this is a fantastic underdog. One of my favorite underdogs on the card. Yana Santos and Miesha Tate. I didn't see this fight coming. I did not see this fight on the radar. I'll let you break this one down.
Oh, thanks. All right. Jim's rule number 1.
I'll take Jeremy Stevens and Mason Jones. You can take Yana Santos.
Thanks, buddy.
Tate. You're welcome.
So, Jim's rule number 1. I don't like betting on fighters who have new teeth. Okay?
Rule number 1.
That's one of my rules. If you're getting veneers and you're a fighter, not really too into it. One of my favorites is when you have modifications to your face, i.e. Botox, and you're still fighting. It seems like a waste of money to me. I'm not saying against it. I'm just saying if Jim is supposed to get Botox, that's going to be the end of my fighting career. Okay? If I'm doing work on this thing, this mess I got going on right here, I'm not getting back in a cage to get it messed up again. That's all I know. See a lot of love for Miesha Tate. I don't get it. Do we not remember her last fight? She looks completely checked out.
She
won.
won.
Sport has passed her by. It was Julia Avila. Stop it. Stop
Sorry,
it.
I just had to point that out.
I thought you were serious for a second. You got me fired up.
The only person boy checked out than Miesha Tate was surprisingly her opponent.
Who retired. It was a retirement, so that's a retirement win. It's it looks horrible for Miesha. Everything looks bad. It just looks bad. And say what you want about Yana Santos, but her and her husband are training. And boy, are they training. and they're doing ready everything they can to improve on a daily basis.
Hyena Barcelos is like, yeah,
Wink,
I,
wink.
I see you. I see
Yeah.
you.
So, look, she said that she had these issues from breastfeeding and she's not going to have those problems anymore. She does what she's supposed to do against Chelsea Chandler in her last
That
fight. I
doesn't
mean,
look great.
it doesn't look great, but she did what she had to do. I'm not betting on Miesha Tate as a favorite. I'm just not. Even the over 2.5, I can see one of these two just slipping on a banana peel. I can't get anywhere as far as a bet in this fight. If it's anything, it's the dog money on Yana Santos. I'm not betting Miesha Tate as a favorite in 2025. Period. I'm done.
Yeah, if Miesha Tate doesn't get the takedown, Santos is going to piece her up on the feet. And I honestly think it's only going to take one or two stuffs from Santos. And I think Miesha Tate's in trouble. That's all Santos has got to work on. It's probably all she's been working on. And yeah, listen, if I'm going to bet on a fighter, if I'm going to bet on a fight that I think is pretty close, and I think one of them may be on the special vitamins, I'm betting on the special vitamins. I just am. I mean, both of them. It's not even a question. And I mentioned the Chandler fight. This was up a weight division. Chandler, that's when Chandler was big and wasn't like skinny getting knocked out by Jocelyn Edwards. Thanks a lot for losing that over on us, Chelsea. Yeah, it's Santos or nothing for me on this one. I don't think I have anything else to add to it. It's a pretty bad fight. Now I will say this: maybe the ultimate live bet fight, and I mean like if Santos stuffs a couple takedowns early,
I see where you're going.
then you better believe I'm firing on Santos. If Miesha Tate cannot get the takedown and lay on Santos, Santos isn't going to throw a ton of volume, but she will throw enough for Tate. So if I see Tate struggling with the takedowns early, I will. This is 100% a live bet on Santos. So for me, I won't be betting anything on this fight, but live lines will be open on this one. So we're gonna get to the main card real quick. We mentioned the bets that we have up. Jim is 5-1 in PFL. This year, he wanted to hit 70%. He's well on his way. So we have a PFL pack that is up. 2 plays are up at the time of recording this. Probably after weigh-ins and face-offs, going to have at least one more. If you are interested in our UFC plays, we have a 5% UFC Gold, UFC and Live Golf Parlay. This starts on Thursday night. So if you're watching this, you got to get it locked in. We'll have all of our other UFC plays up. There's a lot of them. It's a bettable card. We really like it. We did not have a great week last week in UFC. We did well on some parlay pieces, but for our actual like UFC picks and stuff, it was like a down week for us. So that being said, we still maintain the number one spot. I know people say, "Oh, you're number one in everything." Yeah, we are number one in MMA. Sorry, we got out to an early lead and we maintained it after a losing week. But yeah, the handicap doesn't change, so we look to keep rolling on. I really do. I really do want to stress to you guys: try and get something longer term than just one pack or just one play. We cannot guarantee we're going to win one night. We cannot guarantee we're going to win on 3 days, but we're going to turn our 15th winning month out of our last 18. You give us a long period of time. We're going to show you what we can do. We're going to show you what our international team of handicappers can do. Our cricket team has been doing absolutely fantastic. Dan has been doing a great job in lacrosse. Corbin is doing his thing. You don't get just one handicapper. You get 5 of us. Like Jim is literally the best PFL handicapper on the planet. You get him. So take advantage of some of these longer term packages. The 365 days is 30% off, up 90 units in 2023, 127 units last year. 73 units this year already. So we're really humming along. But if you just want individual plays, I get it. Please let me entice you into getting some longer term packages so you can just see a little bit more of what we could do in some of the sports. These are bets that we bet with our own money. So we're with you. And if you haven't joined our Discord, go and join our Discord. It's the Winning in the Shadows Discord. We've got free spreadsheets for you to download so you can track all your own plays. A lot of great handicappers in there that are posting a ton of free plays every day. In sports, you can't even imagine. International volleyball.
Korean baseball. We can keep going.
Esports, Aussie rules, like everything. So It's free. The Discord is free. That costs you nothing. So, but if you want to look at investing and turning your bankroll into business, we can help. This is what we do for a living. So take advantage of that. WT.buzz/AL. All right, Jeremy Stevens and Mason Jones. I teased it that I get this fight. No, you don't, Andy. Jim, go ahead. This is this is a strange one. You got
I'm
to
going
give
to
us
keep
the
this short.
background.
I got a really simple breakdown on this.
Oh,
Laying
okay.
minus 500 on Mason Jones is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
But
Okay?
Jimmy's 15-2.
Yeah, on the regionals. What's he in the UFC?
Well, that's where his 2 losses came from.
What's he in the UFC, guys?
1 and 2.
I don't care. I don't care. And look, I know Jeremy is what he is. Jeremy Stevens has been in bare knuckle for how long now? So if you're Mason Jones, like, you better take this guy down. Because I can guarantee you his boxing is better. He's on all the good vitamins. Because if Conor McGregor owns part of BKFC, they are not testing, they are handing out. Okay? They are
They
distributing
may test to see if you're not on them.
They are like the pride of 2025. There is a candy jar full of stuff to take when you show up at a BKFC.
Ben Rothwell.
Yeah. Yes, Ben, his last fight. That was pretty obvious, Benjamin. This is what they've been doing. Now, I don't know what's going to be involved with him getting back into the UFC, what that's going to happen, but Jeremy took a 1-fight contract and said he is betting on himself. Jeremy Stevens is going to come out and try to put Mason Jones's head into the 3rd row. That is all he knows how to do. He is going to throw for the fences.
And he's good at it, by the way.
He's damn good at it. He's very good at it. I just think people are really overlooking Jeremy Stevens in this spot. And I know he's no spring chicken, but I think you're going to see a difference coming from BKFC. That if Mason Jones cannot take down Jeremy Stevens and hold him, he is in deep, deep trouble on the feet. Deep trouble on the feet.
I watched Mason Jones get tagged many times by Michael Pagani on Cage Warriors. And Pagani, it does look like Pagani's kind of a pretty good fighter, but the fact is he lost to Mason Jones and he lost his very next one. Jones does not have very good strike defense. And against a guy like Jeremy Stevens that only needs 1 shot to put your lights out, it's a recipe for disaster. I'm with you. Have fun throwing Mason Jones in your parlays. By all means, knock yourself out. There's no way I'll be doing it. Jeremy Stevens he's from that area. I think that's one of the big, selling points for him. If you're looking for a big time underdog, you don't need to bet on Jeremy Stevens. You just take Jeremy Stevens by KO because he ain't submitting anybody.
No,
he ain't winning a decision. He's going in there, like Jim said, to knock Mason Jones's head into a souvenir area. So just take Stevens by KO because I'm sure you're getting pretty good odds on it. He's already a big enough underdog, so to get him by KO, probably pretty good. I believe that's the only way to play it. Cameron Smotherman versus Serhiy Sidey. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about this fight because I don't want to bet on either of these guys, first of all. I don't believe
I want to bet on one
guys.
of them. I know you do.
My thinking on this was take this fight not to go the distance. Serhiy's chin, Smotherman has his holes. If Serhiy's going to get a win, I don't think it's going to be in a dominant performance. I think it's going to be he catches somebody. Other than that, I really don't have I'm done with the Sidey experience. We've just seen him not look great since he got here. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested. You have a stronger opinion on this fight than I do. I don't want to ramble on about nothing.
Yeah, I'll start with Sidey. So he beats Ramon Taveras, and great shot. It landed this one shot when Taveras was like shooting in, and Dana was so upset because Dana has his darling. The biggest, most laughable thing that Dana White continues to tell us is that he doesn't know any of these fighters before Contender Series, except he's already made up his mind on Haley Cohen, on Ramon Taveras, on Torres Finney. Like he's already made up his mind, but then he's like, I don't know anything about these guys. So Ramon Taveras gets knocked out. And Dana White goes, bullshit. Too quick of a stoppage. Rematch. It's like, wait, what? Rematch? Are you serious? So he makes him rematch, and Tavares beats him. I always think the guy that lost has the advantage in the rematch. It was a split, and Sidey got his ass kicked. I didn't think it should have been a split. Sidey's face was beat to shit. And then what happens after that? He goes to split against Garrett Armfield, with all due respect to Garrett Armfield. I don't know, man. Just barely beating Garrett Armfield, who has lost to Brady Heistad in Tier City. I'm not sold on Sidey. I'm out. Cameron Smotherman, here's another guy I was out on until I watched him fight Jake Hadley, and he showed me something really different. This is a guy that got knocked out on Contender Series, and I'll give him credit. He went to Fury, and he got better. And he came in against Hadley, and he controlled the fight basically from the beginning. He controlled the pace. He controlled where the fight took place. Hadley tried to take him down, and a couple times did get him down, and Smotherman got up. Smotherman looked so much better against Jake Hadley than I had ever seen him before. And if he fights like that, and it's a big if because I've seen him be terrible, if Smotherman fights like that, he will absolutely beat Sierra City. So I will pick Smotherman as the underdog. Now, if he comes out tentative and, like the guy on Contender Series, but I think he learned his lesson. He's athletic. Striking isn't phenomenal, but it's good enough. And his takedown defense is good enough. Everything is good enough. But what sets him over the top is I think he's just a little bit more aggressive. If I want the guy that's pushing the pace and pushing the guy up against fence, I think it's Cameron Smotherman. I'll take him to pull the upset.
I like it.
Okay. Let's move on to Montel Jackson and Daniel Marcos. This one's really interesting to me. You got 14-2, 17-0. Montel Jackson barely fights, except he's the big favorite here. So I don't know. The lines confuse me on this one. How do you read it?
17-0.
Is the O got to go?
We're getting to that point, right? We're getting to that point where I'm principal.
What was what did Khabib?
What was this? Khabib was what, 21-0, I believe, right?
So you're saying Daniel Marcos is on the? No, I'm just kidding. But listen, 17-0 that's amazing.
You're really trying to ignite the comment section, aren't you?
I'm just saying that Jim. No, I'm having come after you. Jim.
Right. Jim said it. Come on.
No, I'm serious. Okay, how do you read Montel Jackson?
Just that 17-0. It's so due to me. He's so due. Now Daniel Marcos is a good fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him. This is one of those things where, again, he has fought the right competition for us to have a proper assessment of his skill set. And he's a legit 17-0. There's no fluff here. He's fought everybody in the UFC that he's had to. Gets rid of Simon Oliveira. Goes to a tough fight with Davey Grant.
A lot of people say he lost that one.
That was the one, man. That was the one. I'm in that camp as well, where I thought Davey just edged that one out. No contest against Haley, whatever. Doesn't matter. Beats Yana, beats Castaneda. Decent enough sample size where we know where his ceiling is and where he's at in the UFC depths. Like you said about Montel Jackson, I wish he would fight more. I wish we would know more about him.
Like, he's so good. He could be a mainstay, like a character. I mean, it's his life. Mm-hmm. He does what he wants. It's worked for him. I don't know what goes on outside of his life, but I really do wish we had more Montel Jackson fights in our life. I hate this one fight, a year type of thing. But
see, that's the problem. We don't have the same sample size with Montel.
Yeah.
All right, the win over Blackshear ages beautifully. Now, we don't know how that fight would have played out if Blackshear didn't get slept in the first round. See what happens in round 2. But look at the guys that they paired him up with, and it just never kind of went through. They've been trying to give this guy a step up in competition. Ronnie Yaya, absolute joke of a fight. Julio Arce at the time was a good fighter. JP Buys, we all know about JP Buys. All right, Jesse Schrader, we all know about Jesse Schrader. Brett Johns, now we're going way back, okay? But all these other fights don't matter to me. They're way too long ago. It's not the same fighter. We can look at the last 6 fights here and get a really good assessment. And I have to say, I'm leaning that Marcos has fought the better guys. I think Marcos can keep this 17-0 here. I think it's going to be a real close fight. Originally, I wanted to be on Jackson. Marcos just keeps doing his thing. And we don't have that sample size from Jackson. So give me Marcos. What I do like is this fight to go the distance. Both guys are super tough. Super tough.
I'm stunned that Marcos is this big of an underdog. I don't know if we're overreacting to Montel's last fight, but how much can you read into a fight that lasted 18 seconds? Can you really tell me?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's just pretend that one didn't happen because it lasted 18 seconds. Reinier cut.
Yeah.
Old. Arce, I don't think he's with UFC anymore. JP buys, like, my heart goes out to that guy. I hope his life has gotten better after all the drama that guy went through. Just Strader, who knows where that guy? Who is he beating? That can
Damon Blackshear
on a one-shot quitter hitter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you. That's what you're hanging your hat on, and I just can't get there. Marcos, I went back and watched the Adrian Yanez fight. I don't know what Marcos's strategy and level is as far as takedowns, wrestling, grappling. Yanez is just a straight up striker. Marcos went toe to toe with him. Like Yanez is a talented boxer. That was a great fight, and Marcos gets the win on that one. To me, if Marcos doesn't get knocked out, I think Marcos takes this one. He's not a big finish guy. Split against Yanez, Castaneda decision, Davey Grant split. Simon Oliveira, I wouldn't put too much into that one. But yeah, I think Daniel Marcos is really good. I don't know why he's this undervalued. I just can't quit Daniel Marcos. I keep betting on him, and I just keep winning on him. And now I get him at plus money against a guy whose biggest win is a win that took place in 18 seconds. I just don't. Remember when who did Derek Lewis knocked out with the flying knee? It wasn't Nascimento, was it?
No.
I know the
It'll
guy.
Come to me. It'll come.
He kind of looks like a turtle. He's got
Delima. Rogerio Delima.
Yeah, Delima. And it was like, oh, Derek Lewis,
he's back.
And it's like, no, he landed one Hail Mary knee. I can't get there on Montel Jackson. Like I said, I don't want to say Montel Jackson. Oh, you got to be fighting more because Andy Lang wants you to see it. But
no, we love Montel.
I wish we had more Montel Jackson in our lives.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I'm a fan. I like it. I like watching his fights. I like him. I think he's entertaining. I wish he would do more. But hey, his life. If he's happy with it, then I'm a Montel Jackson fan. But betting wise, for money, Daniel Marcos. Santiago Ponzinibbiio and Daniel Rodriguez, two 38-year-old fighters. One of them, though, may have some help. Not looking like a 38-year-old. What's your take?
Well, let's go to Santiago, shall we?
You want to start with that one?
Let's get this right out of the way. So we were dying.
Loses 4 out of 5.
He's just getting smoked. And he beats Alex Morono. Luckily, when Alex was winning, gasses out in the third and he gets clipped.
Morono was sitting on his couch 2 days earlier when he took that fight. That was Ponzinibbio's win.
It's amazing. This Carlston Harris fight. Like, Carlston Harris is bad. Yeah, but it's Ponzinibbiio. Carlston Harris is bad. Yeah, but it's Ponzinibbiio. And then the fight happened. And what's the first thing we all said to each other was, Ponzinibbio's got himself a damn good doctor.
Raoni Barcelos.
That was a Barcelos. We're gonna call that from now on a Barcelos performance. It was just blatantly obvious that his cardio was fixed, his chin was fixed, his aggression level. He marched forward the entire fight. I mean, it checked every box of assisted performance. Against Daniel Rodriguez, if we know that Pons is that Pons, you got to bet him. You just have to. Rodriguez has looked like an absolute shell of a fighter who actually cares about winning or losing. And I don't think he does. I don't think he cares at all about winning and losing. What's the common opponent? Both of these guys, Alex Morono. Ugh. God.
Yeah, what from a few years ago, Morono's done.
Oh,
He's gone.
like it's low level. It's two older fighters. This very well could be loser goes home in this spot. And if Pons is willing to go that far, I'm picking Pons in that spot.
Yeah.
We got to find out at weigh-ins. We'll find out.
Yeah, Rodriguez gets tired against Gastelum, knocked out by Gary, choked out by Magny. Yeah, again, you give me two 38-year-old fighters and one's on the special vitamins, 10 times out of 10, I'm taking the guy on the special vitamins. And what was amazing about Pons was not only did he look shredded, and he had enough energy to knock him out in the third round, he got sat in the first round.
Yeah.
So, like,
recoverability was back.
Everything was back. Yeah, this is a no-brainer to me. I get a guy on the sauce versus an older guy not on the sauce. So it's Pons for me. Reinier de Ridder and Bo Nickal. This is a polarizing, interesting fight. How do you see this one going down?
De Ridder has gotten he's gotten away with some moments here since his debut in the UFC. I think he's had very tailor-made matchups. Okay. First, he gets Gerald Meerschaert, who is essentially De Ridder, but older and way past his prime. They're the same fighter.
And who was winning.
Looked like it.
And he was winning. Meerschaert was winning.
Meerschaert was winning until he hit an absolute wall. All right. A wall in the third. I mean, you saw the life come out of Meerschaert in the third. They're the same fighter. It was a no danger situation. Then they give him Kevin Holland, who could care less about winning or losing or practicing takedown fence or perhaps displaying his striking. Instead, he's just going to be Kevin Holland and make a joke out of everything. I'm not going to put any stock in that win. The one thing that I have seen is against that Meerschaert fight, De Ridder looks slow. Slow in his transitions, slow in his grappling. And it wasn't until Meerschaert got tired that he could accelerate those movements and actually get the submission. Against Holland, Holland's just a doofus. I mean, that's what happens. Love you, Kevin. You made me a ton of money. My favorite fighter to bet. It's awesome. Bo Nickal is going to have a massive athleticism advantage when it comes to the grappling. And he is safe in the grappling. He's done plenty of jiu-jitsu to be able to, I believe, stay in a good position and not get caught in the submission by De Ridder. After that, I don't think De Ridder's going to have anything after round one. I think his cardio is going to be toast. I know that Bo can push. I know that he can wrestle. I know we all want to hate on Bo, but it doesn't surprise me that the UFC made this matchup, and I think it's a tailor-made matchup for Bo Nickal. I really do. I like Bo Nickal on this spot.
Yeah, so Nickal disappointed everybody. He goes like with the striking against Paul Craig. And I'm sorry his striking is awful. But at the same time, you got to do it. You got to get better. Like he can't steamroll everybody like Cody Brundage and Val Woodburn, who he knocks out. Like if you want to move up, your striking's got to get better.
Yeah.
I think Bo Nickal's striking is truly awful. It needs so much work if he wants to be at a super competitive level. Like, yeah, he hit Paul Craig. Everyone hits Paul Craig. Like, that was a tailor-made striking fight for him. So I don't know what Bo Nickal's path is like for his career, because he's not going anywhere. Like, he can lose a few fights in a row. He's got all the time in the world, 29 years old. So in his prime. So I'm not saying he wants to throw away fights, but if you want to strike against Paul Craig, you can do that. I don't know what we're going to get from Bo Nickal. I know you mentioned Bo Nickal got the striking fight out of the way, but here's the thing. De Ridder's path to victory is on the ground with submissions because De Ridder's striking is equally as bad as Nickal's. Sad to say, it may be worse.
I think
his striking is, yeah, I mean, Nickal's just, swinging all over the place, and I just think De Ridder's is pretty bad. And De Ridder's, 19-2, 7-0, and somehow De Ridder's striking is worse than the guy that's 7-0, who's like a collegiate wrestler, coming out, who didn't practice striking when he was in college, and all that stuff. So how's De Ridder going to get it on the ground? Was he going to wrestle him down? And that's, I think, the big problem with De Ridder is how do you get this on the ground? Because the second you try and wrestle and take him down, Bo Nickal's just going to snap right into wrestling mode.
Yeah, it's going to be like a trigger for him.
That's what I
Right?
think.
Yeah.
The second somebody shoots, he's just going to be like, "What?
Okay. You want to
Like,
wrestle?
Oh my God. Yeah, you want to wrestle." So I think it's tough for, like, I keep going through my head. I'm like, I just don't want to bet on Bo Nickal because he looked so weird in his last one. I don't know what he's going to do, but I just don't know what the path to victory is for De Ridder here because it's not striking. And in order to submit, you got to get him on the ground
That's the
in the right
thing. Is be in
position.
a
And
good
how are you going to
position.
get Bo Nickal in the right position to submit him? So it's Bo Nickal. And you're right. Maybe people got in his ear and was like, "All right, Bo, you got the boring striking match out of the way. Give the people what they want. We want a Bo Nickal finish." So,
We've seen it, man. We saw it with Biagio Ali Walsh. He did his thing.
they all
He
do
went his
it,
3 rounds.
and they have to.
Next
I'm
fight, he
not.
came out and nuked the guy. Like, all
Yeah,
right, got my
yeah.
3 rounds in. And just
Yeah.
you have to get your time.
They have to. Bo Nickal has to get better at striking. You want to win the belt, your striking's got to be there. And right now, it's just it's not. So, all right, main event. Before we get to main event, guys, please hit the like button, leave us a comment, tell us hi, tell us what your best bet is, and subscribe to the channel. That way, you get notified when any video gets released. We have a ton of breakdown videos across all sports, so make sure you take advantage of that. Let's talk Cory Sandhagen and Deiveson Figueiredo, and after this, we're going to do our parlay busters and our woulda, coulda, shoulda. To me, this is pretty simple, Jim, and I think you and I are lockstep with this one. Cory Sandhagen's a big favorite, and he should be taller, reach, speed. Um, it's crazy to say this against Fig, but athleticism advantage just kind of all over the place. I just don't see what Fig's path to victory is. I got Sandhagen in a kind of in a romp, mostly with the striking on the feet, because I think Fig's only path is can he get it down and grind out some rounds, but he's gonna have to eat a lot of damage trying to get in. I don't see where the striking advantage is for Fig. I think this is Sandhagen. I think Sandhagen looks really good. Now I'm a Sandhagen fan, so maybe I'm a little bit, you know, he was good against Umar.
I thought he was great.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
He wasn't good. He was great against Umar. What does Umar do to Fig? Sorry.
Oh,
So
quick.
over real quick. So
Mhm.
I have Sandhagen in a romp. I don't know path of victory, so I can't take any. I can't be like, oh, Sandhagen by KO or Sandhagen by sub or by decision. I don't know what to expect on the outcome. I just think Cory Sandhagen makes this look easy. I think this is no drama for Cory Sandhagen. What do you think?
Cory is one of the most cerebral fighters in the game. His ability to make adjustments mid-fight, it can be hit or miss. Like, you have these fights of Cory where you're like, God, he's so smart. Just knows exactly what he needs each round. He's that one that goes for that takedown with 15 seconds left in the round. And you're like, it's Cory's round.
Steal the round.
Yeah, just to steal a round, right? Does the flashy thing at the beginning of the round to get the judge's attention. He knows how to play the game. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride, though, with Cory. And he's talked about this week. He's sick of being the good guy who's a good fighter and never wins. I thought that was a great quote. Absolutely love that quote.
It's a good one.
Part of me says that he doesn't want things to be going to the scorecards, but on the same token, Cory will stick to the game plan. He will do what he has to do to win. The size difference in this fight, this is where moving up in weight is finally going to catch up to Figueiredo. It's going to be extremely obvious when these two guys get in the ring who is the natural at this weight class and who isn't. And if you're going to give Cory length over a guy and height, we all know how this ends, i.e. Frankie Edgar, all these shorter guys that he has fought. He is going to style on Fig. And I don't know if Fig's going to have the fight for 5 rounds. To what you said, Fig's path to victory, get the takedown. Well, how many rounds can he do that? 2?
He's going to have to use a lot of energy just to get the take. I mean, he would have to get the perfect takedown and then the perfect lay down, lay on him and hold him there situation with, Cory's wiry arms and legs. And
Cory's a very underrated grappler. Very underrated grappler.
He hurt himself and he dog walk Rob Font on the ground.
Yeah.
Like he got
with
hurt.
one arm.
Yeah, one arm, and that Rob Font's terrible on the ground, but
I just think this is Cory's moment to. He's got to do it now. If he's going to challenge for a title, he has to make the push now. I would love to see him get this W and then rematch. What am I drawing a blank?
against Umar.
No, not Umar. I don't think he'll get Umar.
All right, so he's lost to
Where is
Jan.
Jan, thank you.
Jan.
Yeah, because Jan's coming off a big W, right? He just beat Fig. So, I mean, there's your matchup to me is those two guys. Next winner gets the title shot. I just think it's Cory, man. Cory by decision, possibly Teo TKO, but most likely decision.
I'd love to just give the fans what they want. Put him in the ring with TJ Dillashaw. Just somebody beat the shit out of TJ Dillashaw.
Oh, you know what? TJ now. TJ's like a 205er.
Oh my God.
Oh, his neck is like this now. Oh yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah, right.
What a surprise. All right, give him Ngannou. Somebody. That guy. Sorry, I didn't mean to hold up the belt. Asshole. All right, let's move to. I didn't mean to hold up the division. That's what he said. I didn't mean to hold up the division, but my rotator cuff's been in shards for 2 years. All right. Parlay Buster and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. If you're new to the show, first off, thanks for joining. And Parlay Buster it's a play that we think everybody's going to be betting on and putting in their parlays, and we're here to just tell you be careful. And then the Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda is the opposite. It's the play that we just think, oh my God, at the end of the night, why didn't we lay the farm on this one? You want to go first on Parlay Buster, or you want me? I got a lot of nominees.
I always get to go first. You go first.
Okay. All right. I will go first. Mason Jones is pretty risky, but I'm just a really big fan of Ryan Loder. I think people are going to see Bekoev, and they're going to see, Russian and 19-3. There's just a lot of things going against Bekoev. First off, his level of competition hasn't been good. I really do believe in this. If you haven't been to UFC and you're 20 plus fights in, there's something not going right there. We saw it with the Magomed that couldn't wrestle, came off a contender series and fought one time in UFC or twice and got cut. I just think if the UFC is not in on a Russian wrestler after 20 fights, there's something weird. I love Loder's no-nonsense approach. I think people are going to put Bekoev in their parlays. I think Loder pulls the upset. He was a big underdog against Valentin. And not only did he win, he won by finish, and it wasn't a flash like KO or lucky submission. He won convincingly. So Bekoev is my parlay buster.
All right, mine's on the screen right now.
Mason?
I'm torn, man. Is it Mason or Yana? Mason or Yana? I'm going to go with Mason. I'm going with Mason.
It's so much more fun when Jeremy Stevens swings for the fences and drills him, and then you look like a genius. Okay.
I think it's insane to have a minus 500 favorite coming back to the UFC after they were cut once. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to read into his regional run that he's been on. He's fighting a guy who's been in there with everybody and has been in the BKFC ring, honing his boxing, taking shots without gloves on and not going down. Like, do you think Jeremy's going to get hit with the MMA gloves and be like, oh, like that's it?
He's going to laugh.
He just got punched in the forehead by Eddie Alvarez with no gloves last month.
Both on roids.
Both on roids. Exactly. So I think it's insane, man. It's just nuts. I'm not laying the 500 now.
All right. Now we go to the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I am going to eliminate the Juliana Miller fight from my repertoire because I already made my my stance known. Mm-hmm. I'll just tell you, if I get two 38-year-old fighters and I get one that's on the sauce and one that's not, I'm going to feel like an idiot if the one that's on the sauce wins convincing. Ponzinibbiio is my woulda, coulda, shoulda. I want to wait, and I want to see what he looks like in interviews and at face-offs, but I'm just telling you right now, this is a pick'em, all right? And Daniel Rodriguez, I will tell you, does not look like he's on the sauce. If Pons looks like it, I am all in on Pons. He will run away from this. He will run away with the fight in rounds 2 and 3, and we're going to be sitting there going, we should have known when he knocked out Carlston Harris in round 3. with plenty of cardio to spare, we should have been betting on Pons. That's my woulda, coulda, shoulda. Who you got?
Well, if he's not on the juice it weighs, we're betting Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah, if Pons looks soft, yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
Yep, we're out. I'll stay right there, man.
But I will tell you, it'd be pretty risky for Pons to be like, sweet, I beat Carlton Harris. I don't need the sauce anymore.
He's got to set somehow.
I'm almost 40. What are you going to do? Suspend me? I'm almost retiring.
He's showing up looking like prime Bobby Lashley is going to be a little bit of a giveaway. I think we got to watch out for that. He's got to make it subtle, Andy. Subtle. I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to do the opposite of what Jim always does and say that the 17-0 Daniel Marcos gets to 18-0 over Montel Jackson.
Okay.
I just look at the strength of competition and him at plus money over Montel, who has one signature win, a bunch of canceled fights and no activity. You're going to hear that split decision read off at the end of this, and Marcos is going to walk away 18-0.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, plus 170 on Daniel Marcos is wild. So
I know the O's got to go, but I really don't know if it's this time right now. I think it's going to take another tier.
Agreed. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Andy and Jim from Winning in the Shadows. Good luck on your plays. We got a 5% best bet that is up. Our UFC card is up. And most important, I really do believe our PFL card is going to be full of profits this week. Jim is 5-1 in 2025, coming off yet another winning week. He's going for 70% for the year, already ahead of schedule. So take advantage of that at wt.buzz/AL. If you haven't joined the Discord, I'll put a link in the description. It's free Discord. Tons of free plays, free spreadsheet for you to track all your plays, which if you don't have anything like that, it's how you take your betting business to the next level.
You need these tools, guys. You need these tools.
Yeah, and these are free.
Get them. Yeah,
these are free. We have all the free tools for you. It's free Discord, all these free tools that I guarantee no other handicapper is making and providing for you. So take advantage of that over at the Winning in the Shadows Discord channel. Good luck on your plays, and we'll see everyone later.
Good luck.